Everybody, if you're joining us from the western part of North America, good morning. If you're joining us from the eastern part of North America, good afternoon. And if you're joining us from Europe or Asia, well then good evening. I'm Dillon. I'm the president of NACIS, and I'm coming to you live from my secret bunker over in Null Island. And on behalf of the board of the North American Cartographic Information Society, I'd like to welcome you all to NACIS Virtual 2020. We're meeting this week in a virtual environment, and obviously that has both its challenges, but it also has its opportunities. Like most people, I really miss not seeing my cartographic friends and colleagues in person. I think I can say that for everybody. And obviously this virtual arena is something that's a new challenge for us, something we've had to adopt to here in the NACIS board. But on the plus side, being virtual has opened us up to a much wider audience. Having a travel-free meeting means that we have presenters and attendees joining us from all continents except Antarctica, and maybe we'll work on that if we do this again. For those of you who were at the meeting in Tacoma last year, you may remember us bragging about breaking attendance records. Well, I think we're definitely on target to break those records again in the next few days. Here in NACIS world, we're celebrating our 40th anniversary, and we're doing that partly by reflecting on both our progress and our history. We're a much bigger and more diverse group than the one our founders started in 1980. However, we've honored their vision, in one way anyway, by reusing their logo as part of this year's logo, including the motto that still holds true today: out of the past to the future. And that motto seems pretty fitting given the virtual environment that we find ourselves in during this very unprecedented year. So the board of NACIS and all the volunteers that make it up have worked very hard to create a meeting this year that demonstrates that we're not so much an organization or even an association, but rather a society made up of people who share their for mapping in a very social environment. And I think that the next couple of days are going to have plenty of opportunities for everybody to be social as well as to join in on the various presentations that we have coming up. So now I'd like to hand you over to the NACIS 2020 Program Chair, Mamata Akella.
Leo, for the warm welcome to NACIS 2020. As Leo had said, this is a really exciting year for our society as it is our 40th anniversary and our first ever virtual conference. By being virtual, we've had a reach that we really could not understand until the past couple of days. So yes, we're so happy that you're here. And speaking of the reach, we just wanted to share a few numbers with you. So our virtual community, we're currently at about 800 members. We have over 300 people on Slack, and we know that for a lot of you out there, this is your very first NACIS, so please let us know. We have a great lineup of speakers with over 15 tracks over 3 days, over 75 talks, and over 80 speakers. And as Leo mentioned, we actually have a greater representation than we've ever had from all around the world. So what I want to spend this time doing is helping you navigate this first ever virtual NACIS. The first thing that's really important is to have the conference schedule. So you can go ahead and bookmark this page, as this is the place where we will be posting any updates to the program, and you can select which talks you're going to, so the community can see who's attending what talk. And there's also this option to set your time zone. So make sure to do that, because that way you will be able to see the talks where you are at the time they're happening where you are. Okay, and so we've put together a conference toolkit for you. So also, I'll leave this up for a second so you can bookmark this page. This is going to be the place where you can find everything happening about the conference. So right now, as you know, we're on the conference streams. This year, we have sessions that are 1 track and we have sessions that are 2 tracks. So if you're at a time where there's a 2-track session, you'll be able to easily find each session, each track on this page. We also have map galleries. For those of you who have been to NACIS in the past, you know that this is a really big part of our conference. We have a student dynamic and student map competitions, and we also have a member gallery. And so from the conference page, you can look at these galleries and definitely take a look, because we have a lot of great entries this year. And we will be talking more about this at the closing session today, with more details about these galleries and how to vote. Since it's our 40th year, we also have some more 40th related content. So in the 40th anniversary gallery, you can see a gallery of memories of NACIS over the past 40 years. There's a lot of great pictures in there, a lot of great mappy outfits, a lot of great mappy swag, and a lot of smiles, happiness, and people just having a good time. We also have a really, really special 40th anniversary map quilt. And this is an effort that members David Lambert came up with, and he's been carrying it on every year. And this year, he's asked our past presidents to make a tile for this map quilt. So please definitely check that out. It's pretty amazing. And what would NACIS be without social events? So on that page, you can also find the different social events that will be taking place over the next 3 days. We have a Wednesday night meetup, a NACIS night in, and this actually might be the first year for those of you who have been to NACIS that can come to the conference on Friday morning in your sweatpants. We also have a Friday happy hour, and we have a modified lunch bunch this year called Metacardo. So we really hope to see you at those different social events, and we will have more announcements throughout the conference about them. And we also have conference goods. So 2 things I want to highlight here. We have a conference t-shirt, and really most of the stuff on our t-shirt store or our NACIS shop, the proceeds go to support things like student travel grants, contest awards, and video streaming. So really, by buying a t-shirt, you're helping us to support our larger organizational initiatives. By joining the conference this year, you're also a member. And so that means that you get a 25% discount on the Atlas of Design, the 5th Atlas of Design, which we'll also be talking about more in the closing session. So be sure to get your pre-order in soon. Okay, so our conference communication is happening through Slack, and it can get overwhelming. And we just want to acknowledge that and let you know that we've organized it. There's some ways that we've organized it to make it not so overwhelming. So on the conference page, you will also find, if this is your first time using Slack, a quick start guide that is actually sends you to the Slack documentation site. It's a really good way to just get familiar with the interface and understand the different capabilities within the application. We also have a status here. So if you see these different symbols next to people's names, you know what they mean. So if you fall into any of these categories and haven't set your status yet, please take a couple minutes to do so. We have some channels that are for all attendees. So once you join Slack, you're automatically added to these. Some of those are Help Attendee, which is a place for you to come to ask us any technical questions or get assistance with anything else related to NACIS. For those of you who have been to our in-person conference, you can kind of think of this as the registration desk. Keep an eye on the announcements channel, as we will be continuously posting in there with different conference events and anything that may come up. And there's some other more social channels. So if you've joined Slack but haven't said hello, please do. It's amazing to see all of the people that have been saying hello from all over the world. And we also have some other channels that you are all part of: Community, NACIS Memories, and NACIS 2020 Hallway Chats. So when you have some time, take a look through each one. During sessions, we also have session-specific channels. So the way that, and you are not added to these by default. So one of the things that you'll have to do as you're planning your conference is mark the ones that you're going to in Sched, and also find the associated Slack channel on Slack. So the way that this works is all of the talks will be appended NACIS 2020 dash the track, and then dash the session name. So for example, today we're going to have our keynote coming up shortly. So the Slack channel for that is NACIS 2020 keynote. And later on in the day, we'll start PCD, Practical Cartography Day, and you can find the specific Practical Cartography Day sessions that you'll be attending in channels as well. This is a place where our session moderators will be taking questions, fielding them, and if the presenter, if there's time for Q&A for the presenters, the moderator will read questions directly from these channels. This is also a great way to get to know presenters even after their talk is over. And there's some other channels. For those of you, again, who have been to NACIS in the past, you're familiar with NACIS Commons. And this is an open space to start talking about a topic with anybody that you want. So feel free to invite people to NACIS Commons to engage in that way. We also have a NACIS 2020 First Timers channel, where our new attendee ambassador, Vicki Johnson, is helping our first time attendees feel the NACIS love. We also have some other channels like Jobs, Pets, Hallway Chats, and one of my favorites, Cardo Couture. And of course, there's probably going to be some channel suggestions. So if you have a suggestion for a channel, you can get in touch with Bill Limpisathian. For example, maybe I think that we need a channel to see if anyone has more unique NACIS swag than Susan Peschel's Slinky, or if anyone has all the 39 printed programs like she does. Probably not, but maybe this is something that we could share in a channel. Okay, so a quick preview of what's to come. After our opening session, we will start with our keynote, and then we will move into Practical Cartography Day. And typically, this is the very first year that Practical Cartography Day has 2 tracks. So you can go back and forth or choose to stay in one track. Like I said, later on today at the closing session, we will hear from Martha Bostwick and Mary Beth Cunha about the virtual map gallery. Vanessa will talk about the Atlas of Design, and we will have any closing remarks for the day. And then after a short break, so you can stretch your legs and grab a drink, we will have our first social event, which is our Wednesday night meetup. Tomorrow, we will start with our main conference. And again, as you can see here, we have 2 tracks for part of them. And we have another plenary track called Mapping for Change. Tomorrow, we also have something called the NACIS Business Lunch. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what that is, but you are interested in our society, it's a great way to learn more about the society's initiatives, what we've accomplished over the past year, and also a time for you to ask any questions. And then tomorrow night, we will have NACIS Night In. And I just want to say that the planning around the social activities is awesome. So we will, again, be sharing more information, but we've basically had some very creative minds think of how we could have a community social online interactive bar. So definitely be sure to come to those to meet some new people or catch up with old friends. And then on Friday, in addition to our main conference sessions, we'll also have Meet Cardo, which is an online permutation of Lunch Bunch. And we have some great guests that will be joining. So keep an eye out for the sign-up sheet for that. And then we will close Friday with our Map Gallery award ceremony, and also end the night with another social event with NACIS Geo Trivia and a Friday night happy hour. And another really special event that I wanted to point out on Thursday after our plenary session, Mapping for Change, is meeting our Corliss Benefideo awardees for this year. Okay, none of this would have been possible without all of you and all of our conference volunteers. From everything from planning to speaker and attendee relations to incorporating our 40th anniversary to taking this experience that so many of us love of NACIS and bringing it online, it would not have been possible with all of these people listed here. And tomorrow in our business lunch, we will show more detailed appreciation of how these people contributed specifically to this year's online conference. And I've been really lucky to work with an amazing group of people that makes up the NACIS board. So on behalf of all of us, I want to welcome you officially to NACIS 2020. And now I'm going to pass it over to Bill, who's going to go over our conference code of conduct. Thank you so much and have a wonderful conference.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bill Limpisathian, your outgoing student director at large. And as Leo and Mamata have said, we're excited to have you here with us today. I just wanted to quickly go over our code of conduct to help make sure that we can all live by our NACIS mantra, which is NACIS is NICIS. What does that mean? Exactly. Well, that means that by being here, you commit to helping us make sure that NACIS is a harassment-free zone and a place where everyone can feel welcomed and secure in their identity. So when you do have the time, we urge that you take a moment to read through our code of conduct, which is linked on the screen. I'm going to leave the screen up for a few seconds to help do your part to make sure that everyone here is welcomed. While our code of conduct spells out instances of explicit harassment, we also want to remind you that harassment can take many forms and can be any unwelcome conduct that may offend, humiliate, intimidate someone. So we ask that you treat others with respect and be kind. So please do your part to make sure that NACIS is a safe environment If you are experiencing harassment or witness it, please report it right away. You can do so in one of 3 ways. You can report instances via private email to the conference organizer team. You can tell your session moderator, which will also notify the conference organizer team, or you can direct message me or any other board member on Slack, where each one of us have a pin next to our name. Additionally, our Slack admins will also be monitoring our channels throughout the conference for any instances of harassment. We want to stress that we take all reports seriously and are committed to following through on all cases. If anyone have been found to engage in harassing behaviors, they will be sanctioned and expelled from the conference accordingly. Lastly, I just wanted to remind you guys to be nice, be kind to yourself, and be kind to others. Have a great NACIS. Thank you. And with that, I'll hand it back to Mamata to introduce our amazing keynote speaker.
Thank you, Bill, for sharing that really important information with our attendees.